Peace.
I want to say peace to the 6 to 22 strand, 7 to 9 ether, selenium, you melanin base, black family of this planet, the gods of this earth. Yes, now, my name is Mind Ascension. I deal in science. I deal in history, I deal in ancient history, and basically, one thing that is the most important aspect that we need to know as the original people of this planet is that every land you step on is your land. You are not only from Africa, you are not only in America, Asia is not only for the Chinese, India is not only for the East Indian. You have literally settled every part of this planet for millenniums and millions of years, and this has been proven. And probably next time I'll come in and show y'all a lot of things. This time was a starting point and all of that, but I can prove this, and I have already on my channel, already on my pages before. Now, we have to understand that, number one, every form of culture on this planet, even the European culture, which goes back to the original Grimaldi, which goes back 40,000 years old, which is you, okay? Europe is actually named after a black woman. Her name is Europa. Uropa. You can look this up. She was a, Phoenician. She was a Phoenician princess. Now, the Phoenician is offshoots of the Egyptians. You see what I'm saying? So we have to understand that we can't stay in this African box, and we also can't stay in this box of the white man this or the white man that, because honestly, we've given the white man the knowledge and the power to do what he's doing today. Because if we go back to 711 AD with the Moorish Empire, who ruled Europe for 700 years, and who taught the white man all the science, which created the Masons, which created the Knights of Templar through the Moorish science, okay? So at the end of the day, I will never speak about this so-called right, who I call the recessive, because they're recessive by genetics. This is why when you mate with a white person, you create another brown person. This is why when a white person mates with a Chinese person, they create another Chinese person, because their genetics are recessive. The only time they can create themselves are where they're with themselves alone. Not only that, there's such a microscopic proportion on this planet because they are what's called two-strand DNA. DNA is a helix. Each strand of that DNA helix is encoded with information. This is why if anybody's ever heard the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, he tells you that you are, I believe, 76 trillion years old. Because each helix of your DNA is encoded with information that goes back millions to billions of years. Your DNA is 6 to 22 strands. This has been scientifically proven. 6 is the lowest, and 6 is the most of us who are amalgamated with white people. After the centuries of being enslaved and raped, after the breeding camps that were in Australia. I don't know if anybody ever heard of the documentary called Rabbit Proof Fence, but in Australia, they literally sent in English prisoners to rape the indigenous people, which, by the way, only until 1964, I believe is the precise number, until 1964, the Aborigines of Australia was considered to be plant and floral. They weren't even considered to be humans. They were considered to be the trees and the plants of that land. Rabbit Proof Fence, Rabbid, I believe. Rabbit Proof Fence. But you could even type in the destruction of Aborigines, or history of Australia, anything like that, and they'll still lead you to that. But the point I'm making is, for the last 500 years to 1,000 years, they've been trying their best to breed us out of existence. The fact that our melanin is so dominant that to this day, they still can't breed you out, because all they end up with is a Spanish person. All they end up with is a mulatto-sized person who still got brown eyes, 7 to 9 ether hair. And by the way, that ether is the elasticity that gives your hair that curl. That's why white people don't have hair, they have fur. We need to be clear with all of this. I go on to this hard because we are so quick to embrace white people as part of this human family. But there is mankind and there is humanity. If you break down the etymology of these words, hue, H-U-E, means what? Color. Eumelanin, E-U-M-E-L-A-N-N-I, means color again. So human means you have to have color. You have to have pigmentation. Mankind is a kind of man. Why do you think when they so-called went to the moon, they said, one step for man, one giant leap for mankind? Why would you say something like that? Wow. Aren't they both the same? So if it's one small step for man, What man are we talking about? Are we talking about our ancient ancestors, the Dogon, who mapped out the Sirius system and the Pleiadian star system? So therefore it was a tiny step for them because they've already mapped out the solar system? And then it's a giant leap for mankind because his ass ain't never left the earth where he was grafted on? What are they? They're telling you right to your face who they are. And we are still in our humanity wanting to embrace these creatures and these grafted beings because they are grafted beings. This is why they have such a connection to that damn dog, man. Woo, they love that dog more than they love anybody on this planet.
That's right.
I remember recently I saw on the news, these white people went to Puerto Rico. Woo! Went to Puerto Rico after destruction to save the dogs. And I'm watching this on New York One. I said, damn, this white lady gathered all her little white friends. They went down there and said, oh my God, it's a tragic thing. And I'm thinking, whoa, white people going down there to help some Puerto Rico. This is awesome. She's like, these dogs have no home. I said, damn, they worry about the dogs? Why is the dog's man's best friend? You didn't say that. They said that. Because in the hills and the caves of Europe, the dog was the one that can feed and live off scraps. But his white woman couldn't feed and live off scraps. That's why he had to throw her into the snow. Because in order to sustain an entire family, especially a woman who needs more than you, because a woman has to be comfortable. She has to be warm. She has to eat. And it's your job as a man to make sure that you provide those things. So what happens? You know what? Get the hell out of here and go fend for yourself. And I'm going to stay next to my dog. You know why? The dog helps you hunt. The dog can chew on a bone. You can't chew on a bone. And the dog will be happy with that bone. So the dog became his best friend for survival. And that's why to this day, they'll lick a dog all in the damn mouth. They'll sleep with the dog. They bathe with the dog. We have to see the scientific fact of the basis of who these people are and the fact that we are not the same. And if we can't see that, we will never get out of this aspect of waiting for them to give us justice.
That's true.
The good brother up there, with all due respect, we're talking about reparations. We're talking. Do you think these white people gonna give your ass anything? Yeah. Do we really believe that? Do we really believe they're gonna give you justice in any sense of the word? Have they ever done it? Ever?
That's why it's freedom or death.
To this day, they're committing genocide against you, left and right. And we still screaming and protesting in front of buildings, saying nothing. But I want to bring up this good point I bring up a lot. Have we noticed yet that they do not kill people of color with symbols? What do I mean by that? All of this fear of my life, 17 shots in a black man's back in his own backyard. Does this happen to the Muslim? Does this happen to the Jew? Does this happen to the black Muslim or the NOI? Because aren't they just as big as a threat? Aren't they just as black as you are? Or does this happen to the regular average Negro of a black neighborhood who does not know himself, who does not wear any form of symbolism whatsoever? So therefore, when they see him, they know he doesn't know anything about himself.
That's right.
So therefore, he doesn't know his right, not only which is a tiny microscopic thing. He doesn't know his right, and therefore, you know for a fact when you kill him, the only one that's showing up is his mama.
That's right.
That's it. But you kill a member of the NOI, you got the whole nation showing up to court. When you kill a member of the Israelites, you got the whole damn Israelites showing up to court. So this is why they don't touch them. Israelites be on the street, screaming at white people. They don't touch them. But let a hip-hop group of young black kids try to go dance on the street. Excuse me, you got a permit? They'll move them over. But notice, they show respect for religious symbols, and they show respect for ideologies. So I say this to say that we need to use certain things as a tool in order to be recognized when we're seeing, and when they see us, they be like, okay, this nigga might be somebody. Let me not be so quick to pull the trigger. Okay, damn, he's walking around with 3 books. He got a kufi on his head. He got some type of symbolism on his chest that I don't understand what it is. He got a name on his back I never heard of before. If I shoot this nigga, am I running the risk of a group of Commission or Kemetic schools or a group of Israelites, a group of Moors, a group of Muslims coming up to the precinct to hold me accountable? But when I shoot the nigga with the backwards hats and the Jordans on, what's my consequence? See, they will never shoot